Hello friends, family, esteemed colleagues. Today I want to discuss milk and dairy products because we are being told all kinds of things about milk. Things pro milk, against the milk, good, bad, drink it, don't drink it. Even some, or not even, actually most of the alternative medicine that accepts vegetarianism and veganism as the correct diet, they fiercely attack milk products. They say, well, if milk is supposed to be healthy, then why don't older animals continue drinking milk? Well, because the animal, the mother animal, when it feels that the calf or whatever the young can start eating and does not need to drink milk anymore, that can survive on its own, well, then mother basically don't want to give her milk. Simple reason becomes when teeth show up, because then the mother is getting hurt, same like a human. If when child starts getting teeth, and when it's sucking, it hurts the nipple. And that's a time when start weaning the child of the milk. Now you have some people saying, no, child should be on a breast milk as long as possible. And some say, actually, no, you should not really prolong this. You should switch to formulas and then wean him off the milk as soon as you can and give him to the right food. Well, neither one of those are correct, because milk is actually extremely powerful source of nutrients. Not only that it has all the proteins that we need and fats that we need for energy, but it also has minerals, and it's liquid, has plenty of water. So it is actually plasma. And here comes the situation. Why do the people who trust the alternative medicine and who are vegetarians or vegetable oriented, why do they accept this motion that milk is not good? Well, they say milk creates mucus. Well, if you follow my work, then you realize that body forms mucus when it is cleansing toxic blood or some kind of a toxicity. So if something makes you create mucus, it is either that is making your blood very toxic, or it is stimulating the cleansing of the blood. Now, what will stimulate cleansing of the blood? Increase of plasma. And since milk is actually plasma, has minerals, so what happens that majority people are dehydrated and toxic, with toxic blood. Especially vegans and vegetarians. They have multiple issues, not knowing to some of them. Some of them know and they hide it, pretending that everything is fine, that this has nothing to do with the food that they eat, whatever problem they have. And it shows, at least through my clients, I'm very well aware of it, that everybody whose predominant nutrition comes from vegetables becomes toxic. And now, if your blood is toxic and you are low on plasma, there is not going to be any detox going on. Okay, your urine may get darker and smellier, but that's about it. For the detox to kick in, you need to raise the plasma levels. And now what happens? You are living on vegetables, you are dehydrated, and now you drink milk. Plasma comes in the body, raises up, and body immediately goes, wow, now we can do some cleansing, and starts throwing things out from the blood. And since the level of toxicity is above the regular toxicity that should be there, because kidneys are not cleansing properly because there was not enough plasma, not enough water. So when plasma goes up, immediately the second level of cleansing, which is through mucosal membranes, through mucus, is being triggered. So if you drink milk and you start feeling that you produce more mucus, then the reason is that your blood is toxic, not that milk is creating mucus. This is the wrong motion that we always have, because people are not scientists. Why not? Because they don't think. They are basically just parrots, computers that have received something but stopped calculating. They just store it and regurgitate it. No thinking. Okay? And because of it, we don't connect things, because we don't think about them, and then through science we are being misguided not to go there, not to look. As soon as we start looking, we are being turned with scientific articles against it, and then this is being spread through media, through movies, everything, just to attack the truth. And this creates chaos and creates a real problem for those who are searching for truth. Now, milk has everything in it to sustain life. Has all the proteins, has all the fats, fat-soluble vitamins, has plasma, water and minerals, and has what we call sugar. Actually, lactose actually is not sugar. It's carbohydrate. Well, we say carbohydrate is sugar. Yes, so is cellulose. But we don't say cellulose, fiber, oh, that's a sugar. No, it's a cellulose. Same is for lactose. It's not a sugar. It is lactose, galactose. You can name it whatever you want. Basically, it's C12, H22, O12, O oxygen 11. Oh, that's what is in one molecule of lactose. Now, since basically chemically looking at it as a chemical, we say, well, this is sugar. We have carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Sugar. Yeah, but it's a complex sugar. And we know by now, again, if you are more familiar with my work, you see that we are not supposed to be in touch with glucose. Glucose should not come from the outside source. It only can be manufactured in a body for particular purposes. Because if it comes from the outside, the body cannot control it, and here is what all the reprogramming starts and all the problems start. So what is the deal with lactose? Well, if you noticed that babies, when they drink milk, they still start going to bathroom. Okay, so going to bathroom, they start pooping. And poop is not water. It is soft, but it's not water. It is kind of fiberish. Well, the fiber that we found there are fiber which are created from lactose. Lactose is not going to, as we are being told, broken down with lactase into glucose and galactose and then absorbed, because if the body would be supposed to receive glucose, then glucose will be directly sent through milk, but it's not, because glucose should never be available. And this breaking down of lactose into glucose and galactose and then being absorbed as a sugars, well, very small amount of it can leak through. Maybe it is done. Because yes, the sugar level may rise a little bit. Now, probably it's from galactose and not glucose, because glucose is not supposed to be put in our body from outside source. But what is then the purpose of lactose in the milk? Well, since through milk we get all the nutrients in a form of liquid. Liquid is very difficult then to push out of the body by itself like this, especially since babies don't drink water on the side, they just drink mother's milk. So this lactose is then being transformed into fibers, same as we have in plants. The carbohydrate, more complex carbohydrate, is the fiber we call cellulose. Same happens with animal. In the intestines, lactose is being reformatted with lactase into a fiber. And this fiber allows better elimination, because I have pointed out that intestines, motion of intestine, they squeeze, and they squeeze like this, ta-da. So if there has to be fiber that they can push. It's like when you want to put elastic through your pants, then you take first needle or something, and then you push the fabric and then pull, and then again push the fabric and pull. Well, this is basically what intestines do when they are starting to squeeze things, and they do like this. They do this motion, so it's like a wave motion, and they have to grab on something to eliminate. So body creates a fiber based on sugars. It's a complex carbohydrate, and does this job. Now, why do some people become intolerant to it? Well, to make this lactase enzyme, there need to be particular bacterial form to create it. And I have explained that the intestinal flora and fauna is changing rapidly according to the type of a food that we are eating. Well, rapidly it takes a couple days, 8 hours and more. So if we are eating incorrect food, incorrect diet, where no milk is being received, no lactase is being received, and it's all wrong diet, plant-based diet, then the microflora in intestines is formed to help digesting this stuff. And the microflora that is supposed to be used for milk is not there. And what starts happening, then if you decide once upon a time to now drink milk, there is no lactase, and you cannot properly modify this milk. And since it has carbohydrate, sugar, it is going to be affected with the wrong flora, and it is going to be turned basically into alcohol. It will inflame the intestines and give you diarrhea. It's a wrong flora, nothing more. There is no problem with age. You can be of any age. If you eat correctly, you will never become intolerant to lactose. Same thing same thing is with casein. Those are all. Casein is animal protein, and some people become intolerant. And now there are different breeds of cows which make slightly different casein, and many people are intolerant to that one. They can tolerate some casein, they cannot tolerate other. Again, why? The microflora is wrong. So it has to shift. And you cannot shift microflora unless you change your diet. If you have correct diet, then no animal protein is ever going to be bothering you, because you will have proper microflora to deal with it. And everybody who did the Self-Healers Protocol, especially those who were intolerant to lactose, and those are basically the vegans and vegetarians that gave it a shot to try, and they couldn't eat meat because of righteous problems, so they zeroed more on milk products and eggs, and milk they could not digest. Well, voila, of course, the microflora, the whole intestinal flora is out of whack, which creates all those chronic problems that people experience with digestion. So when they start hydrating and shifting their diet, within 10 days already they become lactose tolerant. This is a quick change, quick shift. Flora adjusts rapidly. You just have to give it the proper environment. So all these baloney that we are hearing from scientists about how things work, well, they are incorrect. Because we are always trying to find truth in the science we are being immersed in, which is the false science that comes from Rockefeller Foundation. But mistakes have been done before. Rockefeller, this is just ultimate disaster. But before, just look at the stupidity that came out of Louis Pasteur that was widely accepted. And glucose, galactose is right there from Pasteur. Okay, so we should not trust any of the stuff from before. We should just observe and think. We cannot say that milk is bad for us. Why? In what shape? I'm 65 years old. My main food is products of milk. Milk kefir, milk yogurt, milk itself, sour milk, cheese. That's my main source of nutrients. And then of course eggs, and I just had nice steak. This is our proper diet, animal-based diet. And when you have a proper flora and fauna in your system, then everything works like a charm. And you produce very small amount of waste. And the fiber of the waste actually now becomes the fiber that is based on lactose, on galactose. So thinking that lactose is in a mother's milk to give baby sugar that will run the energy is completely false, because very, very small amount of sugar is being released into the blood from lactose. Great majority is converted into fiber, which is complex carbohydrate and helps with elimination. So this is your true dietary fiber. It doesn't come from plants, it comes actually, it is carbohydrate, but it comes from animal body. Human body, same thing. So we have to learn the truth. Nobody ever will develop any intolerance to milk or any milk products if they eat correctly. Now, yeah, people can say, oh, correctly. What is correct? I said, like animals, what they eat in nature. Whatever you can eat raw that will nourish you, it is your food. You can drink milk, it will nourish you, it is your food. You can eat cheese, it will nourish you, it is your food. You didn't cook it, it was not heated. That's the point. Well, but they say, well, but humans are not animals. Well, the same things happen with the dogs, with cats, with every animal, but usually other animals that we have around the house are for food. But mascots like cats and dogs, we keep them as a company. And when we start feeding them with the same garbage as we are eating, they come out with same diseases as we do. Just look at their teeth. In nature, no animal loses tooth unless they had an accident and they broke it. No caries. Humans and domestic animals, terrible teeth. Older they get, look at old dogs, they have no teeth. Old cats, same thing, if they are house cats. If they have opportunity to hunt a little bit in a garden and supplement with the correct food, which is raw meat, then their teeth will be reasonably okay. Plaque can be growing up from the carbohydrates in their food. All these prepackaged foods are disaster for animals. So when you are buying food for your pet, don't do it in a pet section. Those are all advertised carbohydrates. You will destroy the health of your animal. Same as we are destroying our health, eating in the same way. Food based on carbohydrate. Total disaster for your body. But milk, you can never refer to milk as being bad for you. You may not tolerate it if your flora is wrong. Change flora. I hope this made sense to you. Again, don't trust me. Try it. You'll see. Love you all.